$37,000 on his first payout in May here with us at MyFundedFX. So proof of payout, which is got from this trader called Martin in Tennessee. And we're going to be interviewing him and we're going to be asking him some questions, how he got into trading, his thoughts on MyFundedFX, and just some trading stuff overall. These next few episodes, we will be interviewing some other traders who have had their payouts, and there will be a shorter version. In the future, we will be doing a longer version where we're fully interviewing them, asking them to show their strategy, whatever they're willing to show, and go through some trades. But the main point of these is to inspire you, help you learn and earn, and show the transparency. So let's get to the interview, guys. Well, okay, what's happening, Martin? Welcome to MyFundedFX. First of all, how are you? And congrats on your payout.
No, thanks so much. I'm doing great today, Dan. Thanks for asking.
That's cool. That's cool. So then I thought we've got you for an interview. You've had, obviously, as we sent in the intro to this video, you got, what was it, 37K for your first payout with MyFundedFX? That's insane. So we'll go into a little bit about that trade and how you kind of got there so far. But I thought before we start anything, could you just let us know how did you get into trading and also how you found MyFundedFX?
Yeah, sure. So I actually got into trading around early 2019. Through crypto actually, and that's a whole story in itself. And then I stumbled upon MyFundedFX through a friend in a Slack group.
Oh, really? And what did he just say? This is a new prop firm, or what was it about?
Yeah, he was struggling with some of the other prop firms with the time constraints. So the unlimited time really took a lot of pressure off him, I think, and he's working on his way to become a funded trader with MyFundedFX.
Sweet. And then before you've done this, have you done any prop firms before?
Yes. I'm actually funded with another firm right now for a total of 1 million combined with all of my accounts together.
Damn! Congrats, my bro. That is sick. You've hit the 1 million. I'm not far behind you. Yep. 600 myself, 700.
Wow.
And then 300 to get to 1 million for you. Wow, that's insane. That's sick.
Let's go.
Are you linkable? Do you link them all? Actually, a quick question.
Yes. So I do copy trades on all of my accounts.
Oh, sweet. And then I guess this is actually one of the questions which I'm going to ask earlier. Has funded trading changed your life at all?
Absolutely. I would say that without funded trading, I don't know if I would still be trading today. I went through a very large drawdown period, and actually still currently in that drawdown personally. But
personal account, right?
Yes. So I'm working my way out of that. I've made a big dent in that, with this recent payout.
So if you don't mind me asking, so obviously you created a dent, and I actually really resonated with this because my first 4 years was just losing and losing. I think I did both periods. I think I did the first period of doing the stupid thing I think a lot of traders try is $500, trying to make that into something magical, which I know you're laughing already, so you're in it. It's the silliest thing ever. But at the time, and I get it, right? Because this is why people still do it. And I look at them and oh my God, right? And I guess it's a phase. It's because I think it's social media that does it, because the realistic is what do you really expect from $500, right? Now that I look at it, and even if you flip it to say 1 million, how can you keep doing that? And even if you do that, what type of skill is that, and what kind of risk is that, and at what cost? So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then what I also did was ended up having a larger account, but the same again, trying to make a larger profits, and then lost that account and all of that scenario. So I really feel you when you say the personal side of dents, and it took me 2 years to get all of that back in the long run. But I felt like, for me anyway, personally, I had to just stop the emotions of thinking, clawing back my funds or trying to break even or whatever. Tomorrow's a new day. I just need to keep focusing on making sure that I stay consistent every single day. And in the long run, I will find and do that break-even path and then be in profit, which is where I'm at now. So then I guess the question is for you, what happened with you when you said you got your personal dent, if you don't mind sharing with traders and helping them,
Yeah, sure. So I actually got into trading, like I said, in about 2019. I took I took $100,000 and I was invested in crypto. And I won't name the coin, but it's a 3-letter acronym. And I was a very large bag holder. I witnessed that go down about 60%. So I rode that for about 3 years until about 2018, and I decided that it was my only way out was going to be to trade my way out. I actually met some people in the Discord and started learning more about actively trading. So I did some trading to lower my DCA, and I was pretty successful with it right out the gate. I actually turned that into my DCA went from like 60 something cents to down to half. So I was like 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was like your first intro to trading then, right?
Yes. I was very successful, maybe even considered, lucky to begin with. That's basically it. And then it got a little interesting after that, actually. So to fast forward to 2020, I cashed out all of my crypto earnings because I wanted out, and I left left about 20,000 in my in Tether, and around 2021, there was something interesting happening in the crypto market. So I actually decided I was going to take a trade. And so this one particular day, I think it was February the 1st. I remember the day and the time just because it was a very critical point in my trading career. Yeah. I took a very large leverage trade. This was about 20x leverage and on $20,000. So the total amount was about 300,000. And within 12 hours, I was up about 180 grand.
Wow.
And
6x.
Yes, about 7 or 8x. And so I held on to that. I remember waking up the next morning and my girlfriend said, I needed to cash out, and I held on to it. And then within about 4 hours of me, making breakfast, getting ready and everything, I witnessed me getting liquidated. The price came back, very, very sharp retracement. And I got liquidated on that. So that definitely hurt me a lot. And I decided at that point in time I was done with crypto and that I was going to, trade Forex full time. And I started my own personal account, and and I was trading. I took basically what I had left in my personal savings. I think at the time I decided I was going to use $10,000, so I started with a $10,000 account and traded that for up until about May. And then something interesting happened. I knew interest rates were going to be going up. And so I decided that I was going to short the euro. And I had this, macro idea that I was playing with, and I was actually in a pretty good trade. I got in, I think, mid to late April, and shorted the euro. It was up about 10K. Was riding this, and decided I wasn't going to take profit. And I think it was the Good Friday non-farm payrolls. So that came out. That was the turning point in the euro. There was a short squeeze that basically went on for 2 months. And I made one of the most dangerous mistakes I think that new traders tend to make. I added to a loser. And I held this trade open for 2 months and added to it. And I ended up losing about $65,000 in this one trade that I held on to because I knew I was right. And my stubbornness,
it's the ego, right?
Yes, the ego, the stubbornness, after I closed that position within 3 weeks, the euro took a sharp downturn and never looked back. So it was a bittersweet moment. I knew I was right. It's just the market was not, the timing was off. And, that's the dangers and pitfalls of trading sometimes is, having these ideas and then watching them unfold on the chart. But, sometimes what you think is going to happen is it's very counterintuitive, at least to make it.
100%, 100%. And I think on that note, so the whole point of obviously these interviews and stuff for you guys who are watching is to inspire you just to kind of make sure that you know, that is the possibilities there, not get clouded by the judgment. That's why we've got this transparency all through MyFundedFX. And the second thing is to show you that, you know, what the payouts can do and learn from them. And I always say, like, I think what's interesting about what you said, I've got the three things there. It's like you learn and learn. If it's not a blessing, it's a lesson. And the lessons you learn, just, it comes at a cost that everyone's price is different, and that was just your price. Because I think the one where you say with Euro USD, I understand, and that's been, to be honest, that's been the best lesson I've learned because it made me a better trader every single day. And that, even though you held it for 10 months, it doesn't this is what I always say to my students and traders is, it doesn't matter if you're right. Like, what you think doesn't matter. The market is always right. It doesn't matter if it's going today, tomorrow, if you've got the A+ set up. It's like from the book, From Trading Your Way to Financial Freedom by Van Casey Thought, which is basically fallacy, right? The setup might not work today, but it might work tomorrow. It may not pay you today, it may pay you tomorrow. It doesn't really matter what you think. You have to detach from that, because it's just like your trade right there. You were right and it was painful, but because you kept holding on to it, it has to be now. It has to be now. It has to be this time. What about this time? What about this time? Of the concept, what they use, which I think is a really good one, which helped me change my life in trading, was you flip a coin, right? You flipping a coin every single time, it's heads, it's heads, it's heads. You think it's going to be tails this time. It's going to be tails this time. It's not true, because every time you flip that coin, the probability has been reset. So when you look at that trade and you've done a new analysis, the probability has been reset. You know what I mean? It's painful though. I really felt the pain in that
It
lesson.
was the most painful thing, and still today I still have, you know, PTSD, so to speak, from this trade. You know, holding a loser. That is something that I cannot do anymore. You know, and it is what it is. The market's always right, like you said. You nailed it when you said that, and you have to respect price action.
Yeah, so you've learned your lesson. I think that's it. That's it, though, because the thing is, if you haven't learned, then obviously you're stuck. My uncle always says, if you learn from someone else's lesson, you're smart. If you learn from your own lessons, then you're normal. If you don't learn from any lessons at all, you're stupid. So you gotta learn. Yeah. You gotta learn from it sooner or later.
The definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. You know,
expecting a different result.
You have to pay your tuition in these markets, and you know, everyone has, like you said, everyone has a price. Some is much more than others, and I've definitely paid quite a bit in tuition to these markets. You know, but the plus side of that is, you know, you can make all that back and more. You know, and it's a learning from your mistakes. You know, putting your edge on and knowing your edge inside and out, and then compounding your wins will, you know, lead you to success.
Sweet. Then I guess that'll be interesting. I'm sure this is an interesting question people want to know. Can you walk me through like a typical trading day? Like, what times you wake up, what times you trade? I know you've got other businesses as well, or if you do other businesses, like what times you wake up and what happens in between?
Sure. So I tend to wake up on a normal day, I wake up around 6 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard Time. And, you know, first thing I usually do is open my phone and look at the markets and see what's happening, see if I have any alerts that have went off overnight. And then after that, it's, you know, I sit down in front of my computer, make some coffee, and really take a look at the market. And then, you know, with my other job, I have a very flexible work schedule. So my family owns a business and I help manage that. So this time of year, especially through the summer, I have a lot of free time, so I can really focus on the markets.
Nice. And then I guess the rest of the day you kind of just do whatever's reactive. So if you need to go work with your family business, you do that. If you go out like doing your own hobbies, you just do whatever. Is that kind of the case?
Pretty much, yeah. If there's something that's really that needs my attention, you know, I can go and handle that, and you know, I'll close out all my trades and just focus on that. Otherwise, you know, the markets have my full attention. Some people would say that I spend too much time in front of the screens, but I'm a firm believer that the screen time does matter, but it's quality screen time that matters. You need to be doing something. Staring at price going up and down is not quality. You need to be analyzing your edge, you know, looking at statistics, you know, anything that can help you and progress your trading.
So I agree with that, but I also want to bounce on that. So this and this is my opinion, and you can let me know. I agree that the quality of screen time, I really like what you said there, but I think for new beginner traders, it's actually quantity at the start. And because you don't know what quality is, because you don't know what's going on.
Right,
So that's why I always tell them, you always got to just be looking at the chart, seeing what happens. Just you got to be there, right? Because the more you experience, the faster you see more, like your support being broken, then it retests and then goes lower. You've seen that 5 times, and then the 6th and 7th time it hits the support, fakes out, and then goes up. You can see that over and over and over again.
Right.
Over time, once you've done quantity, you'll be able to increase that with quality. Because how can you work? I guess this is a lesson I learned for myself, and this is why I apply it, and I believe in this, right? Or my opinion, right? Is because how can you work smart if you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So the easiest way to start off is just work hard and hard and hard and hard, and keep, even if you're, like you said earlier, insanity, even if it's insanity, keep banging your head. Sooner or later, you will have a revelation and something will click and you will change something. It might not be, a full 180. Sometimes it might do. You might just have that aha moment. Everyone's been through different situations, but even if you turn 1%, that trajectory over time will send you somewhere completely different. But I massively, massively believe in screen time as well, because if you can't understand price action, if you don't know the story, if you don't know the experience, how can you manage yourself moving forward?
No,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I remember early on when I first started trading, I couldn't understand why price would always move around 2 or 3 a.m. my time. And that's when London opens. I had no idea that London was, the place the session to trade Forex.
The liquidity, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest lessons, the liquidity. And then that's actually, we'll go on that topic as well. When the liquidity comes into London, you can see that the market matures over time. Many years ago, when London opened, it used to be one linear move. Now, if you look at it, and I'm specifying this on DAX because I trade DAX the most, it can do 20 pips up or 30, 40, 50 pips up, and then do another 50 pips down. The markets will mature and change over time. And you cannot know that without screen time. And you have to sit there, watch it, understand it, but like, okay, last year it did this year it did that. And then you journal and note, and then you can kind of compare your data and stuff. So next question I have for you is, do you plan to have more capital? What's your goal for funded capital?
That's a good question. I'm always striving to be better each and every day. I think that if I try to learn something new every day, and I try to, capitalize on, the opportunities that I have. And so the opportunities I have now have afforded me the ability to seek more capital. So, I have, applied for more challenges, and, I don't really see any point in stopping.
Nice.
The more the merrier. I have, at this moment in time, there's 7 accounts that I trade, and that's including my personal account. So most of my payouts go into my personal trading account, and a small portion goes into my savings.
What copy trader do you use? This is my personal question.
I use MT4 copier. It costs about €20 a month.
So yeah, have you had any slippages with your copy trader by chance?
Not slippages per se. There is one issue I have found, and that was with my personal account through Oanda. The copier doesn't, because of the way Oanda reports their decimals, it doesn't copy the TPs and the SLs very accurately sometimes, so they get kind of jumbled up. And so a lot of times we'll have to go back and double check to make sure that they're in there properly, just in case there is some if the trade gets closed on my master account, it will get closed on my personal account. But if there is some major slippages, if that SL is way off, then it could really put a hurt on my account. So I definitely,
and his personal account as well.
Yeah. So I definitely go and check that account every time I put a trade in.
So this is the thing, right? I was just saying, I had this issue recently, and it was the copy trader I used was Social Trader Tools, and apparently they're blaming each other, but they said they sent the order and it didn't, and then it ended up putting my account in loss. And that account, even after the loss it had, would have been 5k in profit. Total, I think 8k. Should have been. So yeah, I know it's just a ball ache. And then I guess you say PTSD, or the problem I have now is I can't trade properly without focusing on or looking at the copy trader, just seeing if every account is okay, because I've got 5 or 6 accounts, and that's really taking my focus away from trading properly or trading at a good quality, or taking my focus away, because trading requires ultimate focus, and I day trade, so I'm in and out within my average trades are 20 minutes to 40 minutes, so I need my focus there just to be able to hit those targets. I can't be refreshing refreshing to make sure that every trade is copying, you know, because as you know, with that time frame, a candlestick could change in any formation. I've got to move my stop loss or close out or take profit, whatever it may be. So I feel like it's been a bit of it. That's why I was asking. So that's why it's been a little bit of a stress, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. And it's one of those things. It's like, do I step back and make less, or do I go and do more? We always want more, right? Like you want 1 million funded, 2 million, 4 million, 5 million funded.
Insatiable traders. That's the name of the game.
Never ended. So I guess the last two questions I have for you is like, what is the top tip you would give your old self?
If I had to go back and you know, I saw myself as a young trader again, I would definitely, I would say, start small and never give up. That was what I needed to hear. I went in very large to begin with, and I think that cost me a lot of pain because I lost so much money initially, and I was in this boom and bust type cycle for basically 3 years. I just became profitable this year.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And it was very painful because I could make so much money and then I would lose so much. You know, I'd make $100,000 and it was gone the next week. And then so I went through this, and it was very like an emotional roller coaster. You know, so I would say like starting small but using real money definitely helps, I think, because like demo only gets you so far. Your emotional attachment is not there. It's only when you've like worked for that money does it mean something. And you feel that pain when you lose, you know, $50 or $100 or $1,000 or, you know, even 100,000. I
feel like, sorry to interrupt. I feel like just on that revelation, I just feel like you have to have a certain amount of pain before you stop. Does that make sense? It's like you lose $1,000. Like I'm not saying that it's the right way, but I feel like everyone has their own path, right? But I feel like for you, because the pain was so significant, men or people anyway only change with two things: either you've had enough or the pain hurts enough, right? Like you're like, that's it. I've had enough. I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna change. Like that's enough. Or it hurts so much. You're like, oh my god, like what have I done? And you just sit there and you're sweating, you're reflecting, and then you're just like, I just need that. That's it. That's enough. I cannot do that. So it's one of those. I feel like it's catch-22, because would you have learned that lesson if you blew $500? You put like meh, right? But because the pain was so significant, it cost you and forced you to become who you are now. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah. Because it was such a significant amount. Because it, you know, like, trading is similar to like just walking into a room and seeing money laying on the ground, but picking it up is so hard sometimes, and hanging on to it. Like you can just see all the money you can make, but the pitfall, like one of the biggest traps of trading is like how much money you can lose. You can gain as much, but you can lose just as much. And that right there, like I heard once on a podcast, this guy didn't use stop losses. And that really bothers me because I know the dangers of that. Like if you go back and look at January 15th, 2015 on the Swiss franc.
The Euro Swiss floor. Yeah, I watched someone make from 10K to 2 million. That was my first introduction into trading. I was in the brokerage, and he shorted that mofo like no tomorrow. And it was at 10 or 12K to 2 million, 2.5 million or something like that. We drew it the next way. Yeah, it was insane. It was insane. It was insane. 1,000 pip drop, right?
Imagine
that would ruin your life.
Yeah,
and negative equity as well. Yeah. Imagine if they chased you for that money as well.
Yep, you lose your house, everything, and you know, and a lot of people don't realize that. You know, it can be very dangerous, especially if you're trading your own personal account.
Yeah, well, I think that's sick. Like, so obviously the message is to start small, which I said like bounce back. I feel like the pain is also there, but I do agree with what you're saying. Like, start small and then compound it and then learn your lesson. So learn from our mistakes, guys, and then never give up. I think never giving up is the key to anything in life. Remember, like if I can say a message as well myself, is that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. You just keep failing and failing and failing until you succeed, and then you want to get to a new goalpost. Guess what? You've just got to fail, and then you will succeed. It's just like the challenge, right? You fail challenges, you succeed once, get one payout, it pays for everything.
It's right? It's like riding a bike. You know, you keep trying and falling on your face and falling on your feet. You get back up and you try again, and eventually, when it clicks, it just comes naturally. I don't know how to
100%.
any other way to explain it.
Yeah, you just don't give up. I think that's amazing. And then I guess one last thing is, how have you found it with MyFundedFX, and would you recommend it? Yeah, you could be honest.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. I 110% would recommend MyFundedFX to anyone who's wanting to become a funded trader. The process is very simple. The verification is very simple. My payout, took less, probably about 24 hours. I can't recommend them enough. Honestly, it's been a pleasure trading with them. The spreads are insanely tight on all the Forex pairs that I trade.
Nice. Well, look, we're going to get Martin back. Don't worry. We're going to get him back for obviously he's going to have more payouts. So by then we'll see an accumulation of his payouts. We have more certificates. And then if you guys got questions, comment below, like what questions you would like to ask him next. We're going to go a little bit more into how he's trading, how he's made some certain things. And if he's willing to share more, I'm sure we'll get some more out of him. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this new YouTube channel that we've got running. So we'll see you in the next video. I guess, is there anything else you would want to say? Oh, yeah, where can they find you actually?
Sure. Yeah, you can check my Twitter. It's I'm sure he'll drop a link, but it's trader_931. Sweet.
Anything else you want to say to the people?
I don't think so. It's trading is very difficult, and but I definitely think that if you don't give up and you're willing to give it your all, the opportunity is there. And just, learn from your mistakes.
That's it. Well, thanks for coming on, and we'll see you again for sure. And everyone else, hope you was inspired, and then you get your payouts, and then we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Thanks so much, Dan. See ya.
So hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our giveaways that we have at the moment. Follow us on Twitter. If you do want to join us at MyFundedFX with funding, link in the description to get involved to start your trading challenge now. And you can click on any other videos on our channel if you want to understand how channels work, to see what payouts have happened, other interviews as well, and much more. See you in the next one. Peace.